So today I'm going to show you guys how I managed to pass my 50k last week. It was a phase 2 account. I ended up passing the second phase of this trade that is on the screen. I'll show you why I took it. But first off, I'll explain the way I approached this, right? So on a phase 2, you need 5% with most prop firms, right? Which was the same here. I was on a 50k account. So my target was 52,500, okay? So this is my target, and this is the target as well in percentage and in numbers. Now, what I did was I looked for a 1-to-1 with 2% risk at first, okay? So that'll be 1,000 profit, right? So if I'm up 1,000 on the account, then the next trade I'll risk 3%, okay? So what I did was I risked 1,500 after this trade. Now that ended up losing, so I went back to break even. So back down to 50k. Then I took another trade, which I made 1% off. And then once I made that 1%, I went back to risking 3% again, which then ended up winning. Now this trade ran for more than 1 hour, went for a lot, especially off my entry. So my approach was very aggressive. It was definitely not low risk. It was quite high risk to get it over and done with fast. Just because the target's so small, right? So what I did was I picked a very high probability setup, which is this one, and it's only a higher time frame setup. So that makes it very probable as well. So this is the zone of my entry, but let me just explain why I took this, okay? So first off, the 12-hour candle closed bearish here, okay? Which makes me be bearish. That's really it. 12-hour candle closed bearish, I'll be bearish. So then we drop down to the 1 hour, which is where I usually look for setups. Now, this is our zone, right? I call this the breaker zone. What is a breaker zone? It is a sweep of a swing high / swing low by another swing high, swing low, okay? So this high is a swing high. It swept the previous swing high, which you can see marked out here with the arrow, right? Now, once we have that, I'm going to wait for confirmation, which will be a break of a swing low or swing high, which in this case will be a swing low, which we got right here. Just marked it out on the line. And now we have our zone, right? So we'll pull the sweep to the low, okay, to the break. So sweep to the break, sweep to the break, okay? Try and remember that. Now, then this is my whole zone, right? It's quite big. And I saw this trade around here, and I got a decent entry, not the best, you know, could have gotten a very, very nice entry. But I got my entry around here-ish. Yeah, something like this. And this was my target. Okay, I targeted this low. Was in this for a very long time. Price went up. Eventually, it went back up. This candle really scared me, to be honest. As in, like, I expected it to reverse here, to be honest, with a candle like that. But then the next candle that opened went back down. So I kind of was expecting a dump after that. And was in the gym, took a shower, and I come out and I get the email that I passed my account and it hit my target, which was this low, and that was my TP as well. So it was very clean and simple trade. The one thing that was against this trade was the market structure. It was still bullish, as you can see. So this is the high it broke above, and then it broke above this high again, making the market structure remain bullish. Now, the reason I still took this is because I tend to ignore that sometimes. So yeah, I don't really mind the market structure being bearish here because of the 12-hour being bearish. But if the 12-hour closes bullish and the market structure is bullish, I'll definitely not trade it. But yeah, the Asia low break was just too clean for me to not expect a dump here. And this pair dumps a lot when it's bearish and I see a setup. It usually plays. I've got a good amount of data on this, and it usually just goes down very fast after it's got a day where it's gone up a lot. I know that doesn't make much sense, and you should not be trading from what you've seen in the past. When it comes to stuff like that, you should always just follow your plan and rules. But that's really the reason why I took it as well, because it just looked like it needed to dump because it's gone up so much. And it does that a lot here, as you can see. One day it'll send up and then it'll dump. See? Now this is obviously just off based off hindsight. You can make a strategy out of what I just said, obviously, and I didn't do that either, but it just gave me more confluence to take this. And same with the target. The target was very clean, which was the swing low, and it definitely went past that. I mean, you can see how far it went. We got a good amount of R here. Off my initial entry, you got like a 4.5 R, which is beautiful, very beautiful. I didn't really need more because I passed the account, so yeah. But anyway, a lovely trade. So yeah, ended up continuing the day after. Yeah, that's really the reason why I took it. Everything I just said, and the way I traded it, that's really it. I do think that the way I traded was quite aggressive, and I don't recommend it for people that are not able to financially afford breaching accounts, especially on phase 2. If you're scared to trade with high risk, don't do it. Okay, just stick to 1%, 1.5, maybe 2 when you're in profit. But other than that, don't do too much. Okay. So we're gonna leave it at that. It was a very clean trade. Very nice to add some funding to the pot. We're gonna have to take over soon, get some max allocation with FTMO as well, because that is one of my plans for the next year, 100%. So we'll see how that goes, but this is why I took this trade and how I passed my 50k. So yeah, I hope it was clear. If you don't understand everything, that's fine. You can join my Discord in the link in my bio and ask me questions. I'll obviously answer some questions, but I do also teach people, so it would be unfair to me to help people too much. So yeah, just let me know, and yeah, that's it.